Hello. There's been a lot of questions about how I edit my photos, and especially how to do it with Lightroom and how to not use or avoid Photoshop and Lightroom combinations. Some people just don't want it. Some people don't like it. Some people think that like two subbers mess up with their workflow. So instead of that, I figured I would uh, demonstrate how I edit my photos on Lightroom. So you can have a look at what I do. It's going to be live, so probably the commentary is not going to be as compelling, perhaps not as fast and as well spoken as I would like it to be, but there you go. This is a couple of photos from South America. I've been traveling around for the last couple of months, and pretty nice views actually. Everything's pretty green, and is we are in the tropical area, so a lot of green storms, nice clouds. Now the problem with a lot of those, and a lot of people with come across with the same problem, is the fact that in terms of using a DSLR, it's pretty hard to measure the proper exposure and then work out to get the contrast on your editing software. And this is what happened with this kind of images. They're raw images, so they're easier to edit. Uh, so here we go. We're starting with this one. It's extremely dark, as you can see in the floor, and extremely. It's kind of a hard decision because the sky is pretty light and the ground is pretty dark. And I think that the one thing that you have to handle first is, instead of going directly for exposure and contrast, what I go for is highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks. And once that is worked out, I'll go for exposure and try to give them the photo general look. I'm just playing with a couple of things, just making sure that I'm in the right uh, software and I'm working with the right colors and whatnot. But there you go. This is a simpler one. Now, this one is a little bit more complicated because you see that the mountains and everything is pretty dark and the sky is pretty nice. I want to keep the details of the sky, but also I want to get the details from the ground because it's green and it's pretty cool. So this is my strategy. I would always start with shadows and highlights, work out the general idea of the picture, and after that work out contrast and exposure. And the reason why I do that is simply because I believe that contrast is very important to make an image pop. But you do have to be well exposed in order to do that. The problem with these kind of images is that in a lot of cases, unless you work out with two layers, and I think that that's partly why Photoshop is very popular. You know, you can sort of work out a way to expose the bottom, the mountains, in a different way that you would do the top. But no need of that, no need of using Photoshop instead of that. Use Lightroom and just work out shadows and highlights first, and then work out exposure as I'm doing there, and contrast and a little bit of color. Uh, I'm working with clarity, vibrance, and saturation as well, just for the sake of it. Now, this one's pretty important. Let's see the process just to explain to you what it's going through my head. First of all, I know that it's too dark, so I'll just expose it a little bit, work out contrast just a tiny bit more, and after that, I'll go directly to shadows. Um, and there you go. Once the image is sort of like the general view is well exposed, that means that the darker area is exposed, bringing the shadows down or up and the highlights down and up. Then I can work out with the proper general exposure of the picture and then contrast. Vibrance and clarity, that's something that I work a lot with, simply because, especially in things like Instagram and other places, it just helps because you have a lot of competition with a lot of contrast, clarity, and vibrance. We have 4 pictures now. Let's go for. I think that I might have copied both two of those, I'm just going to delete them because I think that those are the same. Yeah, I think that that's the same as well. We got next one, mountains. Didn't find it really appealing, so I'm just gonna move to that one. This one is just more for fun. There's an airport, small airport in that little town. You can see it's an Mi-8 helicopter flying. So just it's a souvenir. I just want to keep that image, try to make it nicer. But I don't mind that much because it's not going to be on my website. It's just for the sake of it, and I'm playing with it. Um, nice picture. Although my camera's not good enough to actually get proper image of that. This one, I liked it a lot. Um, I didn't like that one. This one is sort of a. I wasn't sure about the framing of that because I thought that the ground was a little bit too on picture. Now to say like it just like right in the corner. You just look at it and it just guides your eye to the corner. I didn't like it, so I deleted that a little bit. But I want to keep the angles of that little wooden fence there, yellow fence that you see there. So now that I kind of frame it correctly, and I think that that's going to be perfect for Instagram. I'm just going to play with it. Again, this one was a little bit easier because the way it was developed turned out to be very balanced in terms of the ground and the skies. I didn't have to play a lot with the shadows and highlights. Apologize for the dog behind me, but it's my neighbor and I cannot do anything about it. I like to play a little bit with the temperature because I think that warmer pictures look pretty awesome sometimes. This case, I just like the green a little bit better. I think that the yellow of the post uh, was good enough. So there you go. Those are my images. I know it's been pretty quick, and if you like that video, I might do a little a bit more of a review and techniques that I use, and even tutorials on how to use Lightroom and how to use your camera as well. Hope you like it. I will leave you guys with the images edited. And again, you can go to visuallandscape.net and have a look at the whole high resolution pictures. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Bye.